Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. Today's video, if you want to call it this, is actually going to be kind of like a part 2 to my original video where I talked about the Sephora VIB sale and basically why you should skip it. And what's really ironic is that today's video is actually me going through my Sephora loves list, which is essentially my Sephora VIB wish list, and thinking about the products that I do want to buy and in some ways cutting it down because I approached my Sephora VIB wish list as like, just throw everything that you even might sort of kind of want onto the list and let it be there. And now it looks kind of ridiculous. I haven't explicitly ever said this, but I do want to say that one of my goals for 2024 is to no longer be a VIB Rouge member. Spending $1,000 at Sephora a year just does not feel like my ministry. So one of my goals is to lose Rouge status. So I want to be very careful about how I approach the VIB sale because it can be very, very easy to go overboard. I've seen myself do it multiple times. I've seen myself like lose control and place 4, 5, 6 orders. And that's not what we're about this year. Now, that being said, I want to make sure that even though I plan or hope to lose Rouge status, that doesn't mean that I go crazy in all of the other like indie markets or buying directly from brands. The point of this year is to spend less on makeup overall in general, point blank period. Okay, so that's enough chit-chatting. Let's go ahead and dive into my Sephora wish list. So I'm going to go ahead and scooch to the right, left, right. That's right. Scooch to the right so I can insert some photos so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. And what I will do is I will add everything to cart so I can see the original price of what I was hoping to buy or wishing to buy. And then we'll start cutting it down till it gets to a reasonable number. Okay, so the first thing on my loves list is this Power Matte Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick from NARS. It's a really beautiful color. It's shade 650 Warm Leatherette. And something about how this looks on that deeper skin tone got me really, really interested. Now, this lipstick retails for $34, which... why are lipsticks over $30? Did I miss something somewhere? And I've said this previously that when it comes to purchasing lipsticks, I truly prefer the Lisa Eldridge formula. So if I'm going to spend $30 on a lipstick, I would much rather buy Lisa Eldridge. So... I'll still add it so that we can see what the total is, but that's the first thing that I have on my wish list is this NARS lipstick. And NARS is not particularly a brand that I actually go all out in terms of wanting to shop from. The next thing on the list is the Sephora Collection Matte Bronzer Powder. Now, this is a new release from Sephora. You guys know that when it comes to Sephora Collection products, I think that they're great for the most part. And I did talk about in the original video, which should be linked down below, that Sephora Collection is something that you should consider because it's 30% off regardless of the tier. Now, this bronzer retails for $16, so 30% off is not a bad deal. But do I need another bronzer? Absolutely not. I just actually picked up the RMS bronzer and I have my eye on the Giorgio Armani one. And honestly, I just picked up the Rem Beauty bronzer as well, so I have 2 new bronzers in my collection. I should honestly stop there and not think about adding another one. But 30% off of $16, not that bad if you really think about it. The next product on my wish list is actually a backup for one that is on its way out, and that is the Milk Mattifying Primer with Niacinamide. I already have this. I absolutely love it. We are coming up to the summer months, so for me personally, this is just a backup, and it's something that will get used, especially as it gets warmer and warmer. I want to get the full size, which is going to be $38. And I think that that is going to be a must for me because it's a backup for a product that I know that I need as we're approaching summertime because the one I have is on its last leg. Like, yeah. This is, like, I have, like, this much left. So, I definitely will need to pick that up. The next thing on the wish list is actually the Givenchy Prisme Libre Loose Blush in, I don't know what shade it is. I'm not sure what shade I want in this, but it's the Givenchy Loose Powder Blush. This is going to be $45. Actually, let me see which shade I think I want. It might be this Rubis shade. It's rich shades of brick and red. And I'm pretty sure I put this in my cart because I saw some creator on Instagram use this and it looked absolutely phenomenal on her. And I can't remember her name, but she's a black Trinidadian creator who lives in the US, is a makeup artist in New York, and honestly, her makeup always looks flawless. So I saw her use this, I saw her recommend this, so I was like, ooh, yes, add to cart. I still kind of want this, but this is $45, you guys. So it's a $45 blush, which is not cheap. Now, granted, it's what, 4 different blush powder shades, and you'd have to swirl it together to get the right shade. It also looks like it's going to be a ton of products, so overall, not bad. But that's going to be a maybe for me. Then I have 2 Sephora collection brushes on the wish list. The concealer brush, which retails for $22, and the foundation brush, which retails for $30. I already have one of the concealer brushes, and I really like it. I think it has a really nice sort of under eye shape. It reminds me of a specific BK Beauty brush that, I mean, I don't have anything from BK Beauty, but actually, let me show you guys. So this is one of their old brushes before they changed them up into this new packaging. And I believe this is technically a foundation brush, but the concealer brush is actually like a smaller version of it with this shape, which is also a shape that I really like for getting all up in the crevices where you need to. So the concealer brush is $22 and the foundation brush is $30. Both of those would be 30% off. I like the Sephora collection brushes, but like I've said previously, I'm not in the market for synthetic brushes. I really want to hone in on my natural hair brushes. And quite frankly, I just decluttered probably 100 brushes, so I don't want to add any more just yet. I'm still on I need to continue getting rid of more and more brushes. So I might just hold off on basically all of the brushes that are on my wish list. But that's where they are for now. The next thing in my cart is a mini loose setting powder from Huda Beauty. This is in that pink shade. And I chose the mini because I definitely don't need a full-size loose powder. But what I've heard consistently from folks is that Huda Beauty has one of the best setting powders, especially if you have oily skin. I have oily skin. It's about to be summertime, so I want to be very matte. Just putting that out there. I chose the pink one because I do think pink powders look surprisingly good on deep skin tones, even though I have a very yellow undertone. I feel like it doesn't make me look sick or anything. I find that it looks cute, at least from the one pink powder that I've tried. So I kind of want to try it in this brand to see if it works really well. I also was interested in another shade of the Huda Beauty powder, maybe to set the entire face to see if I really like the powder, if it really is as mattifying as folks say. So maybe 2 of those. Either way, the minis are $22. I think when it comes to setting powders, I need to stick with minis, because when I tell y'all I have more setting powders than any one person should, actually, let me show y'all my setting powder drawer. This is setting powders. Some of these are not even opened. I have, what do we have? Too Faced, Fenty Beauty, Moira, 2 Oma Beauties. I have 2 Laura Merciers. Just a whole bunch of setting powders. So when it comes to loose setting powders, I don't need any, and I definitely don't need it in full size. So I don't know if I said this, but the mini size is $22. The next thing that I picked up is also a mini product, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury Mini Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I already have this in a full size. I have a little bit left, and I think that it might not be enough to get me through summer. And considering that this is my favorite mattifying setting spray, I wanted to get another bottle, but not a full size. I figured a mini would be fine. I'm trying to not continuously buy full size products because it takes longer to finish. It goes bad a lot faster. So I think a mini will get me through with what I have left of the full size. So for example, this is the full size bottle that I have. No, this is how much I have left. I think a mini would actually technically make this a full size. So that should work. And the mini is going to be $23. Then on my wish list, I have 2 Sephora collection liquid liner pencils. I already have one in black and in brown. The black that I have is done, so that's in my empties basket. So I need to pick up another one of the black, maybe 2 quite frankly. So 2 black liners and then another brown maybe. We'll see. And the Sephora collection liquid liners are $14 a piece. The next thing that I have is the Sephora Micro Smooth powder. Now apparently it's being reformulated, maybe sorta kinda. So it's on sale. $10. I don't know. maybe if I, $10, 30% off, that's not bad. I think I will end up picking that one up, just saying. Next, I have one of the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Revolution Hydrating Lipsticks. Those retail for $35. I have it in a deep cherry red. It's called Cinematic Red. I do not need another red lipstick. As I'm like looking at this now, I'm like, why? You did not need that. So that might be one that goes actually. On the list is also the Lancome Teint Idole Matte Foundation. This retails for $57. Lancome was just having a 30% off sale. So at best, I would buy it on the Lancome website to save more money. And I have enough foundations right now that I don't need to pick up another foundation right this instant. So I think I'll hold off on that one to see if I can get a better sale elsewhere. And yeah, just to see if I can get a better sale elsewhere. The next products on the list are actually two Danessa Myricks products. The first is the Yummy Skin Moisture Repair Balm Serum with hyaluronic acid. So you guys know Danessa came up with two, I want to call them primers in the last couple months. One is a more hydrating one is a more mattifying one. That hydrating balm is going to be $38. And while I do want to try that, I'm going to wait until the fall because quite frankly, that is not a product that's going to make sense to me as we enter the summertime. And like I said, I'm oily. I'm already going to be greasy. I don't need anything that's going to add any more hydration. So even though I want to try it, it would be unfair for me to try that in the summer because I'm going to end up hating it because I'm already going to be oily and greasy. So that will be a, like, not right now. Then the Danessa Myricks, the powder balm, that one is supposed to be mattifying. That one retails for $36. So I think that is one that I'm definitely going to keep on the list. And then two last products on the wish list. One, we have the Guerlain Quad in the shade Jungle, Royal Jungle, I should say. It's basics brown and gold shades. The quads retail for $85, so y'all already know. That just will skyrocket my basket. I kind of still want this. So maybe. It's a strong maybe because I feel like I don't see Guerlain go on sale really anywhere else. And at best, 15, maybe 20%. So this is probably the cheapest I'll ever get it. And then the last thing on the list is the Topicals Faded Cream. I use this currently for my hyperpigmentation from my cystic acne scars. I think I have enough, quite frankly, to get me through to the next sale. So I think I might hold off on getting another one because I don't need it right now. That does retail for $38. Okay, so you guys heard me rattle off a ton of products. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add everything to my basket so we can see the full price before the discount, before tax, before everything, just so you guys can see what the total price is. And then I will start eliminating products so we can get down to something that's a little bit more manageable. Okay, so with everything added to my basket, the total works out to be $606. That's before tax, anything before the discount. So that's a lot. That is a lot. So let's work on eliminating products, okay? Let's see what we can do. So I think the NARS lipstick is going to be the first one to go. I don't need any more lipsticks, and I can probably replicate that color from other products in my collection. The next two things that I think have to go are the Sephora concealer and foundation brushes, because I don't need any more brushes at this time. Speaking of other lipsticks, the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick I think is going to have to go because, again, don't need any lipsticks to be quite honest. The Lancome foundation, I'll wait for another sale for that. And the Danessa Myricks Yummy Balm powder. Yeah, we're going to get rid of that one as well. Topicals Faded Cream. That one can go too. So right now we're left with the Sephora Collection Bronzer, the Milk Primer, the Givenchy Blush, the Huda Beauty Setting Powder, the Charlotte Tilbury Setting Spray, 3 of the Sephora Collection Eyeliners, the Danessa Myricks Powder Serum, the Guerlain Quad, and the Sephora Micro Smooth Face Powder, which I'm looking at right now, and actually it's $7. So I think that one has to stay, because if you tell me this is $7 and then I could add a next 30% off on top of that, That's going to be amazing. So I will keep that powder in there. I'm going to let go of the bronzer from Sephora collection. I don't need another bronzer. I will live without it. That brings it down to $298. Okay. Is there anything else that can get cut? So at $298, we're close to $300. We will definitely be over $300 with tax. I could probably let go of this Givenchy blush, but I don't wanna. Okay, if I let go of the Givenchy blush, that brings us to $253. And how about I also only get 2 of the Sephora collection eyeliners instead of 3? I can always get it at a later date. That brings us to $239. Do I need a Guerlain quad? Because that is what would make a huge difference here. If I choose to skip out on the Guerlain quad, that would bring me down to $154 before tax. But then I'm left with only the Milk Primer, which is a restock, the Huda Beauty Setting Powder, the Charlotte Tilbury Setting Spray, another restock, 2 of the Sephora collection eyeliners, the Danessa Myricks primer, that powder primer, and then the Sephora Micro Smooth powder for, setting face powder. So that brings us to $154 before discounts, all that fun jazz. I would I kind of want to add that blush back to my basket because that Givenchy blush looks absolutely amazing. And I want to add back the Guerlain quad. And adding both of those back, we go from $154 to $284. So what I think I have to do is actually have to make a decision on which one of those stays, which one of them goes. Okay, so with both the Guerlain quad and the Givenchy blush added back, we're at $284. If I remove just the Guerlain quad, it brings us to $199 before tax. And if I remove just the Givenchy blush, it brings me to $239 before tax. Now, either way, I think I'm kind of happy with where I'm at right now because with all of the products, it works out to be less than $300. And once I start cutting it, as long as it stays under $300, I think I'm fine. I think that's where I'm at. Because we haven't added any of the, we haven't counted the 20% discount as yet. So I think I'm fine. Now, I do think that I'm going to have to marinate on the 2 that are actually making this stupid expensive. Wait, so let me move back into the center and I'll wrap up this video. Okay, so generally, I'm kind of happy with where we are right now. When we did the initial add to cart, I had $606 worth of product before tax or anything else. And spending $600 on makeup in one fell swoop is just not my ministry. So by cutting down a lot of it, I actually was able to half that to about $300, which I think is great. I do think that I have to make some decisions on whether or not I want to try to cut that further by getting rid of either the Givenchy or the Guerlain, both of which are stupid expensive. But I think what I need to decide is, do I get rid of one or the other or both? And that is something that I'm going to have to sleep and marinate on. And probably just look into some reviews to see, am I really, really, really invested in picking up either of those products? That being said, guys, that was my wish list. Those are the products that I'm interested in. That I also shared why I'm interested in them. If you have any thoughts or feelings or reactions to any of those products because you've tried them and you've used them, please leave that down in the comments below because that could be very helpful for me making a decision. As always, thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!